What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is our Rise of the Forsaken, our 4th edition campaign. I have, of course, your GM, your DM for the night, Mr. Jumbo Thick, and I'm joined by 2/3 of the unfortunate fellowship, with the latter third supposed to appear soon, hopefully. But as of right now, we've got Doobie209 and Jumbo Smooth. If you guys care to introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. I am Jumbo Smooth, playing the role of Marius Wolf this evening. I'm a pugilist, fighter, 5'9", gray hair, blue eyes, my 20s, early 20s, former miner, venturer, absentee father, you know who I am. So, yeah. I'm excited about what's going on with these vampires, perhaps.
Vampires. It finally came out.
Yeah.
You wanted them. You got them.
It's true. It's true.
Did we, though?
You did. Oh, you did.
What's going on, everybody? 2B209 here. And, I play Seamus McGreedy, the former road warden turned former bounty hunter turned current knight, and about to become a former knight into a vampire slayer.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. We'll see. Bold words, Sir Seamus. Yeah. Bold words. Indeed. Well, last we left off, the Fellowship had found themselves in Bretonnia, the homeland of one Bragadin Bennot, at the behest of supposedly his father, Lord Bennot, who holds a decent amount of land in Peravon, one of the provinces of Bretonnia. Bragadin was requested his presence be shown during a joyous occasion, the wedding of his beloved little sister, Emma. Because of this, he was sent money for safe passage, which he promptly blew on Women of the Night in one of the more luxurious places in Sealburg, and had to seek an alternate route with the help of Marius and Seamus under the Grey Mountains into Bretonnia. The passage was treacherous, and death almost claimed several of our party members. However, you triumphed. You beat the mountain. You then came upon a interesting forest with a set of protective stones of a sort, warning markers, with long dead corpses nearby. You managed to guide yourself through the forest with the aid of a denizen, an elf, a wood elf to be exact. And you were given safe passage through the tall, old trees of Athelloren. We quickly found yourselves in Bragadin's homelands and had an interesting introduction into their society as you came upon the town of Pig's Gutter. And, of course, got to see Bragadin in his element as the Lord Bennot. You then were brought to his keep, the Chateau de Bennot, and got to see a different side of Bragadin's culture, as he was made a bit of a social mockery of sorts in his own castle by the other nobles present, as this was no mere wedding. This was to be a grand tournament for the hand of Emma, with her betrothed not yet named. Some intrigue was had. You were cleaned up. You were given fresh clothes. Your old ones burned. You were forced to sleep in a wine cellar, though forced is neither here nor there, because I'm sure you both enjoyed it thoroughly. And then came the tournament. There was to be a representative of the Bennot family to serve as a gatekeeper of sorts in the tourney to make sure that there was someone indeed worthy amongst these suitors. 10 suitors were drawn forward, one of them being the protector, the representative of the Bennot family. In this case, by default, because Bargadine's brother, Gerard, was incapacitated of a sorts and unable to fulfill his duties as protector. And so, one Sir Seamus Macready was dubbed protector of the Bennot family and given the privilege, the honor of participating in this grand tournament. A joust was had where Seamus quickly, well, not quickly, but rather expertly destroyed his first opponent after several passes, despite not being trained in the lance, nor really fighting from horseback very often whatsoever. Made quite the showing for himself. However, it was short-lived as his second opponent not only dehorsed him, but grievously wounded him to the extent that you had to be seen by the Lord's doctor of a sorts, which turned out to be a butcher, a local butcher, a disgraced butcher of some kind from the Empire. However, due to Marius's actions, a well-placed intimidation check, and Seamus was not subject to unclean treatment, and was indeed patched up and fixed and ready to go for the second part of the grand tournament, a one-on-one duel. Seamus was definitely in his element for the duel, as he easily trounced his first opponent, a knight, I might add, of somewhat renown, related to the current rulers distantly of Bretonnia. However, his second opponent was once again the same knight that beat him during the joust. Known simply as Sir Michael is all that you knew about this rather unassuming knight. However, his skill with the blade matched that of the lance, and he was no slouch in combat, but neither was Seamus Macready, as he ended up carving into this, what he believed to be a man at first, with his rather interesting sword, the magical katana he had taken from Nippon. And upon doing so, he was surged with dark, evil magic that nearly shattered a part of his mask, cracking it, in fact, the one used to protect him from harboring too much dark magic in his body. And then something was revealed as the knight ripped away its helm, revealing long, curly, red, dark, blood-red hair, and completely red, almost glowing eyes, and elongated fangs. And it was mid-jump towards Mr. Seamus whenever we cut last time. However, he was not the only one in mortal peril, as Monsieur Bennot found himself in the box office, the super stand seats that he had through his family, alone, seemingly, with Emma, as his father, his mother, and the guards were nowhere to be seen. He was a little on guard, and eventually, his faithful servant that he's known for quite some time, Gaston, approached from behind, and something just seemed a little off to Bragadin, and he managed to nimbly dodge a assassin's blade. However, he was not ready for the outreached hand that gripped him by the face and leached the very life from his body, racking him with pain and leaving him in quite the stupor. And this is where we are picking up. We will, do we have Mr. Galactic with us right now?
He's in the party.
Bragadin? How about Doobie? Are you present?
Yes.
Okay, so we are just waiting on Mr. Pierce Galactic.
I don't know, maybe he's muted.
Bragadin is here.
There we go. There we go.
Bragadin got the new head. Pierce Galactic got a new headset that apparently does not work. We just found out. So,
That's
sorry. So sorry.
quite unfortunate. I will edit out.
Cannot believe
the
Gaston, the
silence.
traitorous dog.
Yes, indeed. So, with that, we are actually going to pick up with. We're going to pick up with Bragadin, in fact. So, Bragadin, you have but a moment as all these things are happening very, very quickly. You felt the palm grasp your head, your forehead of Gaston, and you just felt extreme cold and tingling sensation flood down your body and drain you significantly. If you remember, you have 3 stunned conditions, and you were short. I believe it was it 8 or 9?
12 wounds, I thought.
Was it that many? It might have been.
Yeah, I thought it was
don't
12.
remember. There we go.
It was
So-
it was pretty high.
Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah, it was
yes.
mad high. Yeah.
Got it. So you are not doing well right now, Bragadin. However, it is your opportunity to attempt to do something as Gaston pulls away from you. You are racked and stunned, meaning you have let me look at the complete condition list here. You can only move at half your speed. You can defend yourself, but you have a -10 for each stun condition, so you have a -30 right now. And let's see here. And then your opponents gain advantage against you, so that's not going to be much right now. However, you have half your movement that you can take. Gaston is grabbing the wrist of your sister and attempting to drag her away. What would you like to do, Bragadin?
Oh, man. Of course, I don't... Might I even have a dagger on me? I know I wouldn't have my shield. I wouldn't have my sword.
You will have, because of the nature of these events, and as a noble, you are not savages. You would have your sword on you. Usually it's ceremony, but Bragadin has learned a few tricks since his spending some time in the Empire, and he's actually a fair swordsman now.
I'm going to protect my sister.
Okay. It's awkward because it's actually set to be drawn with your right arm, which is currently in a sling.
Mm-hmm.
So you grab it by the hilt of the sword, and to this point that you realize that your body is incapable right now, while you are stunned, of drawing the sword. The stun conditions must be removed from you before you can take an action.
Okay. Can I use one resolve point, and then can I try to do Is that an endurance check?
It is an endurance test. So yes, resolve removes one of the stun conditions, and then yes, I will need a endurance check from you.
All right, here we go. Oh, I don't think that was very good. So it's a -30.
A negative. It's going to be a -20 now since you have one removed.
All right, so I needed a 52, and I needed a 32. I failed. Let me use a fortune point.
Okay.
Okay, that's an even worse fail.
Is it a critical?
Let's just do it. Let's get out of the way. Oh, no. It was just a higher one. But I just got a critical success.
Oh, how are you rolling 3 times?
I rolled, and I just used 2 fortune points.
Oh, you can only use 1 per round. Unfortunately.
I knew that.
It's fine.
Well, I got a 33. That's fine. That's okay.
Fine.
So
yes. So you failed the first 2. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I will, however, let you use that for your next roll on your next turn, if you so choose. But you spend this first round helplessly trying to draw your sword and shaking away the stupor that your body's in, and you feel cold and clammy. You do have your movement, however, if you would choose to move.
He's holding on to Emma, though, right?
He's grabbed a hold of her wrist, and he's attempting to drag her out of the box down one of the sets of stairs on each side.
Marius, help me!
Yeah, and you're having a hard time even hearing right now. Bragadine, it's everything, your head is just racked right now, and everything's kind of hazy, but you don't know if your pleas got out or not. However, it is now the person you know of as Gaston's turn, as he will easily begin dragging Emma. And he is not saying much for the moment, but he begins dragging her away, and she's pleading, "Bragadine, help me! And she's trying to claw away from him, and he viciously backhands her across the face. And she plummets to the floor hard. And then he reaches down and grabs a hold of the shield heirloom of your family that has been cast aside during the scuffle. Grabs a hold of it and then looks at it almost pleasurably as he looks at his own reflection in the kind of rune-like carvings on the front of it. He then says something in a strange language, Bragadine, that you do not recognize. And you hear steps coming, or steps being made on the stairs. Feet. Heavy, clunking feet. And you see, in your haze, you see 2 sets of feet come to the top of the box, and you recognize them as the soldiers, your man-at-arms, the guards that were at their posts, and they make their way into the box. He says something to them, and then he begins to once again grab a hold of Emma and begins dragging her down the opposite staircase. It is now your turn, Bragadine.
What language did he speak to the men-at-arms in?
You do not know. You would not recognize it.
Shit. All right, I'm on my feet, though.
You are currently on your feet. You still have 2 stun conditions, and you could probably cover ground to the stairs. He's not quite down them yet, but he's made it to the edge of the staircase, and Emma's like holding onto a rail, trying to not go with him, and she looks completely horrified and on the verge of collapse out of sheer terror at this point.
Would it be an action to try and shake off a stun condition?
That's considered. You can do it at the end of your turn, so you'll be foregoing your action, which you can't take anyway. You have 2 stun conditions, so you can use a resolve to remove one if you like.
I already used my resolve to remove one.
You only have one?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, then you're going to need to. Yep, you're going to need to make me an endurance check to shake off the last 2. Which I let you use. I'll let you use your critical success because you rolled that last time.
Okay. You just slapped my sister, dude. You know I'm furious. Yes. I'm about to kill this guy.
So
I think I am.
With a critical success, you shake it off, right? And as soon as you do, you instinctively are going to be running towards him. You're not quite fast enough, but what you are fast enough to see is you glance over towards the men-at-arms, going to tell them to help you. And as you look at them in the face, you see that their skin is peeling away from the bone. There's gore encrusted across their eyes and dripping down their cheeks. God. And their tabard and armor is soaked with gore and blood. And their eyes are missing, and in place are glowing blue balefires inside their eye sockets. The 2 of them just look at you and begin silently walking, closing the distance. Bragadine, I need you to defend yourself, Bragadine, as your former guards begin to attempt to murder you.
All right.
So remember, Bragadine, you have a -20 to these rolls to defense.
And I don't have my shield because I'm holding my sword.
Yes. You have a -20 because you're using your offhand, and because you removed all your stun conditions, you are the proud owner of a fatigue condition. So you're at a -30 to this defense.
No worries.
Okay, the first zombie man-at-arms lunges towards you with a polearm and thrusts it at you.
Let me see. So -20. I failed it. I got a 41 and I needed a 37.
Well, how many degrees? This is important.
That's just a failure. Not even a full degree of 10. Just a single failure.
Even as you stumble away, Bragadine, you bring the sword awkwardly in your hand, and you bat aside a very lumbering pivot of this man-at-arms. Almost no skill behind this foul creature as it lunges towards you, and you clank it away. So you do have a point of momentum now.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
And I need you to defend yourself a second time, Bragadine, as the next one does the same thing with an overhead arch of the poleaxe.
Oh, I got a 12.
Out of
47. So 3 levels of success.
Yep. Okay. So as it lunges towards you, Bragadine, you bring the sword up and catch the edge of the axe and slide it to the side as it hammers into the wood next to you.
If only my father could see me!
Sending up splinters. That is their turn. However, it is now the necromancer's turn. As you look down towards the stairs as he's dragging Emma away, and you see, let me roll. You see her face go completely white, Bragadine, at the sight of these men-at-arms, and she goes pale and just loses consciousness. She just falls unconscious, and as she does,
expected of a Bretonian noble lady.
Exactly, and the man that you knew as Gaston grabs a hold of her and begins moving quickly down the stairs. And as he does, he begins whispering some more under his breath. And you see 2 more zombie man-at-arms pass by him on the stairs, lumbering towards you. You are being closed in.
And they're between me and Gaston then.
They're
Okay.
between you and Gaston at this point. And it is your turn, Bragadine. What are you doing?
I raise up my sword and shout to the sky, "By the lady!" And I lunge forward and attack the closest one in front of me between Gaston and myself.
Okay, if you move away from the creatures that are engaged with you, they will get attacks. Unless you want to burn your momentum. And
Nope, I need it.
Okay. Then do you want to lash out at one of them?
I will lash out at, I guess, the one that's closest to me, and
Yes.
I would feel is trying to prevent me to save
They
my sister.
are. See, and this is where infighting comes in, Marius. As these creatures are using pole arms, and they are, though they are clumsy, they are keeping you at bay somewhat. For now, most of their skill has left them, though they're fresh, so they have a little bit more than normal. But go ahead and make an attack at the first one. They get bonuses to defense.
I rolled a 2.
Out of?
No, 2 out of, so I would have had 57 with still a minus 20.
Yes, you're still at minus 20. Well,
So
actually,
with my momentum, I still would have been a
Yeah.
57.
okay.
So I rolled 2. I got 5 degrees of
5 degrees of
success.
success. All right. That
Thank you,
is...
dice,
How much
please.
damage is that from you?
Let me
Nice.
see. So 5 plus 4, that's 9. Oh, wait, do I put my strength bonus in that? Yeah.
Yeah, 9
Minus
plus
15.
plus another 5 is 14.
Yeah. My mistake. Thank you.
Okay. You bring the sword down in a brutal arc, and you cleave into the head, the very side of the head, and you pierce deep into the skull, and your sword almost cleaves about a quarter way in, and then it gets stuck in the flesh, and the creature kind of stumbles to the side, but is still very much standing.
There's more where that came from.
Your sword is stuck in this creature, Bragadine. I need you to make a strength check to pull it free.
Shit. I think I'm going to use my last fortune point.
Yes, please
Or
do.
did we count the... Okay. Yeah, that was a 95. Oh, it's an 83, so I still fail. Let me see. Hold on. So strength check, 3 levels of failure.
Yes.
Or 6 levels of failure, depending on with my conditions.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. So you grab
Yeah,
a hold of
ouch.
it. Yeah, and you go to pull it free, and it is lodged firm. You still have the option, Bragadine. You still have your movement. And you have a free action. It's up to you what you would like to do, Bragadine. These creatures are closing. You did significant damage to one of the 4, but you're being encircled.
All right, I am going to use my free action to call out again. Marius, I need you. I guess I will burn. So I've got 3 momentum right now. Do I have to burn them all, or can I burn? Is it burn 1 to get out to disengage?
I believe the way this works is I believe you choose to just burn them all.
All right. Okay. We're gonna burn. We're gonna disengage, and we're gonna try to head over to the. I believe the word you said was necromancer.
Yes.
And so I've got no momentum, but disengage, and then I'm going to move
Okay.
around these guys.
All right. We'll say now
Maybe.
you're on a staircase. There's not going to be any way to get through them. He's already at the bottom of the stairs. Does that make
All right,
sense?
I am not going to do that then. I'm going to try and fight it out. I guess I got to try and just wait till I get my sword free.
Okay. All right. You're currently without a weapon, Bragadine. Are you sure you don't want to attempt to do anything else?
And I'm gonna try to get away from these guys. So I'll bring them in. I'm gonna try and get around them.
Okay.
Maybe I can go.
Here's what I'll let you do.
Okay.
These are
Can I step out of the
zombies.
box?
They're not exactly super intelligent creatures.
Okay.
You have several options right now. You are on a staircase, but you're also at the top of the box as well. The zombies you have 2 at the top of the stairs, and then 2 climbing the stairs towards the bottom towards you. You could jump off the side.
Can I?
It's a significant
use my
fall,
momentum
but you could probably make it.
try to move around one of the zombies to try and shove him down the stairs?
The one you hurt, I would say that I would allow you to give me an athletics check
Oh yes.
to attempt to pull it past you, and then maybe free up a hole for you to try to at least
right,
get some movement in there.
Come on, I need a crit, so maybe it'll topple the other guys. Oh shit! I rolled a 95.
Okay. Well, in that case, you attempt to push past
Damn.
it, Bragadine,
It's all right,
and
it's all right.
as you move to push past it, I need you to make a dodge, Bragadine.
$93.
Okay. As you move to push past this creature, the weapon in its hand is unwieldy, and you close the distance to where it's too hard for it to wield down. Plus, it's missing part of its face now. And instead of using the weapon as you get close, it just and then bites down on your shoulder in a vicious, bloody manner as you receive. It looks like you receive 8 wounds as it takes a hunk out of your neck.
Toughness bonus on that?
You do get your toughness bonus. Are you still
Okay.
standing?
Alright. But that's my neck, so the chainmail's not going to apply on that.
No, this would technically be your head.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still standing.
Okay, all right. So you, as it, and then it rips free some flesh, and you scream out. You have made you're not past it, but you're at least further on the landing, kind of to the side, and that's going to be where you end up. However, now the one next to it stumbles around, and they are very single-minded in their quarry here. I need you to make another dodge, Bragadine, as you still have not freed your sword.
14. All right. Let me see. 14 out of. Oh, out of 33. I think I still failed it. I think I had to get a 3 or less.
Yeah, you're at a minus 20 right now, so you still failed.
So
right?
I failed it by 1.
Yeah, by 1, you still
I needed
failed.
a 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Bragadine, you move to dodge once again, and you stumble backwards into the box. You fall, and as you fall, there's a sweep over the large pole arm as it cuts across your left thigh. It looks like 9 wounds. I'm assuming you are past 0.
We're down. Yeah.
You're not down yet, but you are prone. And then I need to roll on the critical table since it pushed you past 0. So let's see here. You receive a very bad cut as it gouges deep into your left thigh, Bragadine, as you cry out.
Bastard!
I need you to make me an endurance test, Bragadine.
Okay. Oh, shit. I would have passed, and then it rolled one more facet. 41 out of... Wait, what's mine? So negative 20? 41 out of 40.
Okay.
Two. Actually, no. I got 41 out of 42. I passed.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So you stumble back, and you do go prone, however, unfortunately. The cut is bad, but not as bad as it could have been. Unfortunately, something is nicked, probably a vein, in your leg, and you have 2 bleeding conditions. And you're at 0 wounds, so you immediately begin to lose your consciousness, Bragadine, as you fall down limp, as the zombie horde begins to close in on you. And that's where we're going to leave Bragadine for now. So, let's go over to happier times right now.
Oh no.
So, we are moving over to Seamus McCready and Marius Wolf on the tournament grounds. Now, to lay this out for you, since it has been a little while, the tournament grounds are relatively open. You have several hundred feet to the stands, and then out to the side of the mountain that is the backdrop on one side. Marius, you are going to be a total of 90 feet away from Seamus McCready, as the seconds are not to be present right at the edge of this circle that has been drawn in the center of the field. Seamus and Sir Michael, as he knows him, are currently in the very center of the tournament grounds. However, Seamus, Sir Michael has just ripped away his helm and revealed that he is in fact not of this earth, or at least not of any mortal coil any longer. And I do believe it was his turn, Seamus, and he is going to attempt to kill you now. So, Seamus, I need you to defend yourself.
All right. That is an 11.
Okay. Out of?
It would be an 11 out of 60 if I'm defending with my sword.
Okay, you bring the sword up. Go ahead and roll me one more D100.
That is a 100.
All right, then roll me one more.
77.
Okay, let me make sure I get this right.
3 straight crits.
Ooh. Okay. All right. You, as he lunges in, Seamus, you almost haphazardly, because you are slightly taken aback, well, more than slightly, you're very much taken aback by his appearance as he lunges towards you, and you slice out with your sword, and it cleaves into the gaps on his right leg, specifically into the knee, and you feel it crunch through bone. How much damage is that total from you?
Ooh, let's see. That should be 13.
Okay, all right. I will write that down. However, instead of it cleanly tearing through his leg, you catch some of the armor and peel away a piece of the metal. Unfortunately, it is not a full critical hit because he sacrificed some of his many pieces of armor. But you do, however, feel a surge, Seamus, as you cleave into his undead flesh. I need you to give me an endurance test.
Ooh, yeah, this is
At -10 now, since you've already had this happen to you once.
All right, -10. That is going to be a 74 out of 57.
And would you like to re-roll that?
Yeah, I got 3, so let's
All
just
right.
do it. Ooh, that's an 18 out of 57.
Okay. You do, however, you manage to grit your teeth, and you do recover one wound as you siphon away some dark energy. However, the mask begins to feel even colder than it did before. But you do not feel it crack this time, like it had before. And that was just with one strike as he lunges out, and he flinches back away at his knee. And he takes his naked claw and moves to try to grab you by the throat.
Oh, shit.
Needs you to defend yourself one more time, Seamus.
All right. That is a 17 out of 70.
Okay. Unfortunately for you, Seamus, I got a critical on this.
Oh, damn it.
And he was aiming for your head. So you have a choice. You can sacrifice a piece of your armor for your head, or you can take the critical hit.
I would be sacrificing my skull helmet, though.
You
I
would.
believe.
You would, in fact, be sacrificing a piece because it has 2 armor.
I thought he had a coif.
You do have the coif, but you have to peel it off from the outside in. So the armor on top is what gets peeled away first.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm just worried about what's going to happen if that helmet breaks.
It's up to you. You can either take the hit, or you can have it. It's not going to be like missing a piece. It is considered damaged, even more than it already is.
Okay. Yeah, because if I take the hit, I'm down, so I will sacrifice the armor.
Okay. So you grit your teeth, and I will say it hits with the armor. However, you might be down anyway. Let's see. That is going to be 17 wounds.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that should put me down regardless.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I only have 6 left.
Got it. So, he looks like he's in a frenzy as this happens. And, yeah, you move to protect your chin, Seamus, and the claw rakes across your helm, forming deep, ragged scars across the skull mask, digging into the metal itself, peeling some of it away. And you feel its magic, whatever blessings of more have been gathered into it, slowly begin to fade as it has taken significant punishment. And as he does with his next attack, because you technically are down and he has one more action, he grabs a hold of you by the throat and opens his mouth wide with these gigantic fangs exposed. And he...
Not like this.
Not like... Seamus meekly says something, whispers something, and he gives a smell. Maybe not yet. And then he tosses you aside. And as he tosses you, he throws you 20 feet away from him as you slide through the dirt and mud. Let me roll for a critical injury on you.
I can't let a ginger kill me.
Oh, shit. All right, you land badly on your arm, Seamus. Your left arm, not your swinging arm. However,
Was that my surgery arm?
Oh, it was your surgery arm. I forgot about that, which is ironic because I rolled the same injury. So apparently, whatever stitches and suturing
Re-aggravated.
was
gonna be one of
taken
those
care of
sessions,
previously
folks.
just rips open as you fumble through the dirt and mud of the tournament field. And you have 4 bleeding conditions. And you immediately go unconscious. You just lay there unconscious. And that's the end of the vampire's turn as Sir Seamus is beaten and wounded. He looks over at Marius Wolf and gives a bit of a smile and then turns around and moves at a extraordinary pace in the opposite direction towards the squire that he has with his horse. And now that you see this, you can see the squire looks extremely pale, and his eyes begin to glow just a little bit more red than they were before. Yeah, so Marius, it's at this time, Marius, that...
Son of a bitch. Wait, I just want to pause for a sec.
Yes.
Bullshit. Both my party members are down already?
They are.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
The rough start, bro.
It's a rough start. So,
right.
Marius, you have a currently. This is what's currently happening, Marius. Seamus is. I will give you the benefit of him throwing Seamus towards you, which 20 feet,
Ooh,
so
thanks.
70 feet from you. Laying in the mud, unconscious. You see there's blood, a large amount of blood spilling across the grounds, across his armor and down. And he is limp, laying there. As you begin to glance around, Marius, you hear screams and cries all over the stands. So you glance up into the stands, Marius, and there are, it looks like men-at-arms and peasants falling upon one another, ripping out each other's necks and throats. Chaos has divulged into this. The several men-at-arms and knights that were on the tournament field down below, not in the stands, have turned to look at it as there are cries going out. And you see large forms lumbering around the edges of the field, obscured by the many bodies. But several of the men-at-arms begin charging towards them, and 1 or 2 knights do the same on the opposite side. It's hard to tell what's going on. But it's your turn, Marius Wolf. What would you like to do?
If there's no immediate threat close to me, I guess probably run towards Seamus as quickly as I could.
Okay, you
I
get.
didn't hear Bragadine's cries, did I?
No, you did not.
Yes.
Over what is happening right now, it would be impossible for you to hear him after the screams and blood-curdling death that is happening around what should have been a joyous occasion. Yes.
Yeah.
So you begin moving towards Seamus's direction. You get 40 feet, and then he is still a further 20 feet from you, bleeding out in the mud, Marius.
I mean, if that's all I can do. The only other thing I guess I would do is, try to take in my surroundings.
Yes. I will, however, give you, you could use your action, give me an athletics check to, essentially, I'll let you do this. I'll let you, as a free action, give me an athletics check, and if you can make it, I'll let you get to Seamus in 1 turn, since it's only another 20 feet.
Okay. I'll give it a try then. That is a... I had to reroll. Using a fortune.
Okay.
Whew. It's right on the dot. 36 out of 36.
Okay, all right. That's you just had to pass. So you do manage to kind of grit down and power through the extra 20 feet needed to get to the limp body of Seamus. You kind of slide next to him. I will allow you to take an action if you choose.
I'll do so. To try to stabilize him, I guess, if there's any way I can do that.
Yeah. Do you have any bandages left?
I do have a single bandage left.
Okay. Well, you would know with your healing experience, he's bleeding badly, and you've just treated this wound. You could rewrap it, essentially, and remove all bleeding conditions with the bandage. Unless you want to try to heal it yourself.
I'll just try to staunch the flow, I guess.
Okay, staunch the flow.
Concern.
As you begin wrapping him quickly. He's still unconscious, but you at least... So you can remove your bleeding conditions, Seamus?
All right.
You do receive a fatigue condition from that, so you can just mark that down. But you are still technically unconscious right now until you are roused in some way. All right. That is the end of your turn, Marius. And now, Marius, as you glance around, as you feel as there's just so much happening right now, you glance over and you see the large horse that the vampire knight was riding kind of take a few steps forward as he reaches his hand out to grab it by the reins, pulls himself almost effortlessly onto its back, and he looks over towards you and Seamus, looks at the both of you, and he gives a little well, and he glances up at the stands, and you can see, Marius, where he's looking. You see a figure dragging a woman from on up high down the stairs. Several men-at-arms walking past him up them. Well, I think it's time for me to go. You, and he looks at you, Marius. Tell him to seek me out if he's an actual warrior. I am Sir Michael Freeze of the Black Barrows, and I will spare no mercy on any who stand in my way. Come at your own risk. He turns the horse around and begins galloping away. As he makes it towards the edge of the field, you see several more knights. However, they are garbed in blackened plate mail from head to toe, and the horses they are riding are not horses, as they are just bones cobbled together in the appearance of a horse with blue balefire burning in their eyes. As they trot up next to the man, you see them cut down several peasants and several men-at-arms, and you see one brave knight, one Bretonnian lancer, charge this vampire, and he effortlessly bats it aside and jams his sword through the man's throat and tosses him down without breaking a sweat. And he begins fleeing the field, Marius Wolf. However, Marius, your quickly attention is brought to something else as several of the men-at-arms behind you that were guarding the side of the tournament field begin screaming. Oh, God! And they're being torn to pieces as you look over and you see 5 lumbering, massive shapes that you recognize as wolf-like in nature, as they have torn through several men and are closing the distance, looking at you. Their eyes are also dead and lit with that same blue barrel fire, and their fur, well matted, is sloughing from the bone. And there are 4 dire wolves coming in your direction. What would you like to do, Marius Wolf?
I guess I'm defending the unconscious body of Seamus.
Okay. You stand over his body?
I'd probably like move a little bit forward to like try to, cut him off before they get close to him,
Okay.
But
You take how many steps forward do you take?
how far are they from me?
They are, it looks like, about 60 feet from you. As they're just now ripping through the crowd.
Probably about 30.
30 feet?
30 feet, like halfway
All
to
right.
them,
You move 30 feet. Are you readying an action, I guess, when one gets close?
I could. Give me one sec. I'm going to go ahead and... no. Yeah, I'm going to ready an action. If they get close, I'm going to try to attack if you'll allow me.
All right, no problem. You unsling your pick, charge towards them, and it's now their turn, Marius. You see the one in the lead immediately, without breaking any stride. First off, I need you to make me a cool test, as these are undead abominations.
That's a 15 out of 65.
Okay, so you managed to steel your nerves at the horror that it is to fight these creatures. The one in the lead, jaw open and mangled, several of the teeth missing, but still this rotten stench wafting off of it as it lumbers towards you, Marius, and it goes to pounce. I will give you an attempt to dodge, Marius.
Okay. That is a 24 out of 45.
Okay, so you do, however, manage to lumber to your right a few steps as it vaults past you and slides and then turns around. As it does, the next one comes in and is going to attempt to bite at you, but you've readied an action. You can take your attack if you'd like.
Okay, I'll do so. That is an 8 out of 80.
Okay, how much damage is that, Marius?
That is 6. Let's see. That's 19 damage plus armor piercing.
Ooh, yes. And you do feel as you rip.
Oh, actually, sorry. It's 20.
20? Okay. You
Gosh,
do feel,
that...
as you rip into the side of the skull, you pierce in, and its hide is relatively firm. However, the nature of your pick allows you to bypass its natural armor and cleave into the skull itself for massive damage. You pierce in deep and throw the creature, these creatures are about the size of a horse. They are not small by any means. And you push it to the side with extreme prejudice. It slides away from you, but slowly and awkwardly begins to stand once again. Not taken down in one hit.
I guess we'll kind of snarl at the two.
Okay. All right.
Come at me, beasts!
There's two more. The next one is going to attempt to... Now you have two enemies that are technically engaged with your person now. So they are going to be getting benefits to attack you at this point as they are circling you.
Okay.
The third is going to move in and attempt to bite at you. So go ahead and defend yourself, Marius. And these are large creatures.
Okay. This is minus 20.
Yes, if you want to use your pick, it's minus 20.
Okay. I'll still use my pick. Still better than...
Okay.
Let me think. Yeah, it's still technically better. That is a 7 out of 70.
Okay. You do, once again, the jaws go to snap and you bash ahead the head of this large wolf as it and then flinches away from you. The fourth, however, completely runs around the three of you and charges over to Seamus's defenseless body as you are significant way away from him.
Hello?
And he is going to gnaw on the unconscious man.
Oh no!
Let me roll for that critical wound real quick. Okay, that's bad. It's bad, not gonna lie.
Is it though?
It is. It is. Okay, most of it doesn't matter because you're already unconscious. However, it immediately buries its fangs in your gut, Seamus, and
Not the gut.
rips away a piece of flesh. Manages to bypass most of the armor here and digs into you and rips away a hunk of flesh, and you have a bad cut. And you have 2 bleeding conditions now, Seamus, as it rips away some of your viscera. Yeah, and that's their turn. So that leads me to one Seamus McCready. You're bleeding and unconscious.
Well, I will use 1 resolve point to stop the bleeding.
Okay, and you do so. So you have
One of those conditions.
You have 1 bleeding condition left. I need you to roll me a D100.
All right. I rolled a 100, so I will use a fortune point.
I would suggest that, yes.
And I rolled a 4.
Okay.
Oh, gee.
You do not die instantly. You do not bleed out from this very, very bad wound. Let me make sure you can do anything. I don't know if you can since you're unconscious.
Yeah, I assume I can't.
Let me see here.
Since I took care of the bleeding
Yeah,
condition.
since you took care of the bleeding, you can't remove the unconscious condition. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't. Well, what about bleeding, though? All right. That's a till test. Nope. Apparently that's your turn right now.
All right.
So unfortunately, yes, you are currently on death's door. That brings us to Marius Wolf. What are you going to do, Marius? You see the wolf, one of the 4, the dire wolf, charge around and begin savaging Seamus's unprotected corpse. You are, however, surrounded by 3 large creatures. What are you going to do, Marius?
I'm going to attack the one who I attacked earlier.
Okay, go ahead and make me an attack roll. It's going to attempt to dodge.
Okay. That's a 18 out of 100.
Okay. Yeah, it's not going to matter at this point. So yes, it attempts to duck out of the way, but it's not fast enough, and you pierce straight through the skull. It explodes like a ripe watermelon across the field and just decorates a part of this tournament field in just disgusting old coagulated blood. The smell of rotting meat and dog mixed together as it splatters there. And there are still 2 wolves upon you. However, you do have options here. So what would you like to do? You still have your movement, and you do have your free action.
I'm going to burn my momentum.
Okay.
And try to reposition closer to Seamus to try to position myself between the wolves and Seamus.
All right, yeah, you begin moving that direction, and the wolf that just tore into Seamus looks around at you with some of his flesh still dangling between its mouth and opens it and and begins charging towards you. So now all three of them are on you now.
Okay.
And we're going to make a round of attacks. So go ahead and defend yourself, Marius. Yes.
Okay. Am I still surrounded?
No, you have just this one
okay.
coming towards you, and then you're about to be surrounded
Okay.
again because there's no way you're outrunning these things.
Okay. Yeah. So defend myself, you said?
Yes, defend yourself. Minus 20 if you're using the pick.
I'll use the pick. It's technically still better. 25 out of 50.
Ooh, just barely. You catch it as the jaws open wide as it's pouncing towards you, and you catch it in between the jaws, and they clamp down on the haft of the pick, and you lunge it to the side, throw it away, better positioning yourself between them and Seamus as the other two begin closing the distance and circling you. I need you to defend yourself again, Marius.
All right. I'm going to reroll. It was a critical fail.
No, leave that one.
Oh, that's a lot better. That's a 40 out of 60. That's a crit.
I know it is. I know. Trust me.
All right.
God damn it. What's the total damage?
That's 15 damage.
15.
Plus a arm piercing.
Yeah. Roll me one more D100.
Okay. 14.
Oh, okay. Well, you do bypass you would have bypassed its armor anyway. And unfortunately, this thing doesn't bleed that well. So you do deeply cut into its left leg, and it kind of peels away some of the flesh, but it seems unhindered by the grievous wound you just inflicted on it. But significant damage.
Yeah.
However, it is still standing. Let me put that in there. All right. However, there is still one more creature that is going to attack you, so defend yourself one more time.
That's a 55 out of 70.
No, it's not. No, it's
Another
not.
crit.
Stop
Yes,
cheating.
it is.
Stop
Yes, it is. I'll take
cheating
a picture.
right now. I don't want to take I don't want you to reposition your dice real quick and take a picture. I know what.
I'm sorry, bro. I mean, what can I say? I'm Marius Wolf, bro.
Roll me another D100.
The people need, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Professional
82.
cheater. Professional cheater.
Bro. No.
Oh man, he's not on the Patriots.
Don't you lash out. Ooh, Patriot slam.
Okay, all right.
It was 82.
I mean, it is significant. Unfortunately, these creatures are undead, so bleeding is not a thing, unfortunately. But you do grievously wound it. How much damage is that from you?
Let me think here. 5 out of 7. 14.
Okay. All right. God damn it, Marius Wolf, you asshole. Destroying my wolves here.
I'm sorry that you decimated our party.
On a defense. It's fine. It's fine. So that is the end of your turn as you viciously savage a hunk out of its right shoulder, and it pulls away from you. The three of them begin to circle you, Marius, and that is the end of their turn. Which brings us to one Seamus McCready.
Yeah.
You have some bleeding conditions, Seamus.
I do. So we will use the last point to resolve that last bleeding condition.
Okay. All right. So you're no longer bleeding, which is a good thing. However, you are unconscious, and until you regain a wound, you cannot come back from unconsciousness. But you don't have to roll to see if you die, so that's a plus. Real quick, what is your let's see here. What's your toughness bonus?
5.
Okay, so in the next 3 rounds, Seamus will die, no matter what, if he is not awakened. Keep that in mind, Marius. You have 3 rounds to make it to Seamus McCready. Otherwise, he will be no more.
I'll try. Can he use a fate point?
Probably, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd allow that. I'd allow that.
I'm going to try, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of beef between me and him.
It's your turn. Your turn.
Okay. I'm going to attack the weakest looking.
Okay.
guy.
This is the first one that you tore through its arm or leg, I guess.
Okay. Bro, don't hate me, bro. It's a 30.
Well, how do you kill this one? Because it can't live through
Alright.
what's about to happen to it.
Yes, it can't. I just want to take the end of Dringizan and just pull it down over top and just drive it in on the top of his head. It's
Yeah.
like cracking his skull.
Yeah, you crack it, and not only does it crack it, it pierces deep and slams it into the mud, actually making a small divot from the impact as you pull it free. The other 2 still circling. Apparently, any normal animal at this point would be running, but these are certainly not normal creatures.
Yeah.
Would you like to do anything else?
I mean, I'm just trying to, probably just staying here and trying to kill these things.
Okay. It's now their turn.
Yeah.
I need you to defend yourself, Marius.
Okay. It's a 29 out of 90.
Okay. Yeah, you easily bat aside another nip at you and defend yourself one more time.
Okay. $37 out of 100.
Okay. And once again, batter aside a second nip towards your back this time as you... And they're still circling around you, looking for a gap, but they just can't seem to get it.
Is 6 the max momentum we do?
Yes,
Right?
6 is the cap, so that's all you can get.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Go ahead. It is now 2 rounds left till Seamus McCready is no more. It is your turn, Marius.
All right. I will try to attack the other one that I hit, I guess.
All right. Go ahead and make me an attack.
That is going to be a 19 out of... All right, 1 sec. 130.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. And no reason to even tell me the damage. It's so significant. It won't matter as you
Okay.
bash aside, not even with the pick end, with the more flattened end, you crunch aside this right into the rib cage, one of the remaining wolves, as it tumbles free and goes limp, the balefire empty from its eye sockets. There is 1 remaining.
Does the vampire's already gone, right?
As you glance back towards where they were, you see that the retinue that was with the vampire are slaughtering anyone that comes nearby, but
Oh, gee.
the vampire is watching this engagement. Sir Michael Freeze, atop his fine undead steed, is watching and looks like looking intently at the battle that is taking place towards the center.
Okay.
But he's quite the distance away from you.
Okay. Yeah, I finished my turn.
All right. The last wolf is going to attempt to jump on top of you and pin you to the ground, Marius. So you can either give me a contested strength or you can make me a dodge.
Let me dodge.
All right.
You don't use that strength, bro?
I'm tempted, but it's a large
Man,
creature, so it's
You
a
leveled it up so
21.
high.
I did, but still, it's doubled what they normally do. So I rolled a 21 out of 105.
Okay. You easily step aside, Marius, as it lumbers past you as it pounces and then keeps going. This is the final round for Seamus McCready, Marius. You have a choice to make, Marius.
Yep.
Seamus is close by. You see him growing very pale. What exposed skin you do see. His jaw is slack right now, open, and he is on death's door. Though you had patched his arm, there is an open wound in his gut where the wolf savaged him, and looks like he's not long for this world. The wolf is still engaged with you.
Yeah, so if I was to disengage,
yes, you can do one of two things.
What
There's
are my
different
options?
Yeah, so when you go to disengage, you can either burn resolve, and there's no test whatsoever. You just get to disengage, or you can attempt to dodge. As an action.
It's an action. Okay.
But it costs you an action is the thing.
Okay.
So that's up to you.
If I disengage and I get to Seamus, this is my question more than getting away from Beast, is what are my options? I have a single healing potion that I can drop down his gullet.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would work.
I was giving it to you. Yeah, I was giving it as a free action for you guys to take yourselves. I might say this is an action to give it to someone else.
Okay.
You also have
my question is this.
You could do a heal test too. You didn't have to use the potion unless you really want to.
Yeah, but I'm thinking is it realistic for me to be able to get away from this beast and in that time be able to stabilize Seamus?
It'll depend on how you roll.
Well, it's 6 seconds. Am I able to stop his bleeding?
Oh, it's not in this isn't 6 seconds. This is more fluid than regular D&D.
Okay. I didn't know. My question is in this combat, my thought is I'm going over there and trying to patch him up, but this giant beast is there. Am I just dodging and moving in and trying to patch him as I dodge?
You would dodge essentially if you attempted to do a heal test and not do the potion. Depending on what you roll will depend on how I explain what happens. Let's put it like that.
Okay. I think the simplest, if the potion will...
The potion will do it as an action if you want to.
Will it do... Can I still burn my momentum to get away?
Yes.
That's just my movement?
Yes.
And then throw the potion down on him? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you can do that.
That's probably what I'll do. I'll burn my momentum, and then I'll run over to Seamus and reach in my bag.
Yeah.
Hurriedly pull out my last potion and kind of quickly force it down his throat there.
Yeah, his mouth's already open, ready, willing.
Yeah.
And you bust the cap.
Pour it in.
Bust the cap on his ass and just pour that in there. Thick, syrupy liquid down his throat. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. In the industry, that's what we call it. But, it's neither here nor there.
Don't tell me jobs.
So, Seamus, upon your turn, you will regain your wounds. But for now, it's beginning to sink into Seamus. And Marius, you as you're crouched over Seamus, you hear the growl once again of the foul wolf, and it is going to try to drag you away from its quarry. So go ahead and give me a defense roll of some kind.
Okay. I'll use my pick. That is a 16 out of 50.
Okay. You, not easily, but very quickly managed to get the pick around to bat away the open maw of this dire wolf as it nips away from you, Marius. Seamus, you come to consciousness. You regain your toughness bonus and wounds. However, you gain 2 more fatigue conditions, which I believe puts you at 3.
Yes, it does.
Which means you can't stand because it's your strength.
That is
bonus.
my strength.
Yes. So you are weakened but alive. You're technically prone, but you can crawl half your movement if you want to attempt to do anything.
Do I still have any lingering arm injuries, or was it just all the bleeding conditions?
You are bleeding. It's currently, until you get surgery,
Oh, jeez.
anytime that arm, your left arm is hit, it will open up and you will bleed some more.
All right. Then, yeah, upon waking up, I will just try to crawl away.
Okay, you begin crawling away, Seamus. Marius, it's your turn.
I'm going to attack the beast.
All right, go ahead and give me an attack roll. It'll try to dodge.
It's not very good. 54 out of 60.
Well, Marius, I would like to say you missed for the first time, but you didn't. Because I rolled horribly as you bring the pick down overhead, and let's see here, you catch it in its kind of in its midsection as it kind of lumbers up to get away from you, and cleave a massive hunk of muscle out of its kind of gut area, exposing some entrails. How much damage is that?
That would be 17.
Oof, man. Okay, it looks, I mean, it's shambling a little bit, but it's still very much standing as it kind of begins to pace away from you, Marius. And now it is the wolf's turn. Defend yourself, sir.
All right. Using the pick, that's a 15 out of 70.
Well, Marius, it was bound to happen at some point.
I'm getting critted?
Oh, yes. Yes, you are.
Oh.
It's going to be to the body.
Oh.
Would you like to sacrifice a piece of armor, Marius, or do you want to take it like a man?
Like a man?
Mm-hmm.
I will sacrifice.
Damn it!
I'm going to
Okay.
do so.
All right. Whatever your top layer of armor is, peel off a piece of it.
Okay. My
And-
boiled leather.
Yeah. You will take...
Ooh, wait, question.
Yes.
It's partial. Does it? I guess that matters. Does it hit if it's partial?
Oh, I did not think about that. This actually does hit for partial.
Okay.
Do you have
Well,
anything
if
underneath?
that does hit. I do. I have my leather jack, so unfortunately I have to sacrifice that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll sacrifice the leather jack. I'm sure you are, bro.
So sorry. All right. But you will only take a measly 9 wounds.
9 wounds. Okay.
Yeah.
Subtract my toughness.
Yeah.
I can subtract my full armor, right? And then I lose that one.
Yes. Yeah. And then you lose that one afterwards.
Okay.
So as it
Right.
attempts to tear through you, and then it peels away some of the armor, still gets some flesh underneath, and you flinch away. Not a grievous wound for Marius, but first blood.
Took away my momentum. Yeah.
And that brings us to Seamus McCready.
Yeah. I guess I'm still crawling.
Okay. Do you
I
care?
burned everything.
Do you care which direction you want to crawl? I mean,
If I can see either wherever my sword or my shield is, whatever's closest.
okay. Yeah, you begin crawling, and you see your sword laying there. The shield, you have no idea where that crumpled piece of metal is. But you do find your sword. You crawl over to it and grab the hilt, and you now have your sword once again.
Yes.
And it is towards the center. It's in the middle of what was the fighting ring.
I will hope something tries to pounce me so I can just stab it in its stomach.
Yes, that would be glorious indeed. All right, so I will say you're readying an action just in case. Which brings us to Marius Wolf.
I'm going to try to attack the wolf.
Okay, go ahead and the attack.
It's a 45 out of 70.
How many success levels is that?
The 5.
Okay, yes.
No,
it does.
sorry. 3. It's 3. It's 3. I was sorry. 3. No, 2. 2.
2?
I thought you were talking about damage.
No,
So,
success
it's
levels.
2 success levels.
Two success levels, yep.
Correct.
You go to swing at it, Marius, and it nimbly dodges out of the way with grace that it did not have before as you swing wide. Apparently a little bit slowed by the wound you just took.
Gee.
And it is going to try to lash out now, Marius, as you've lost some momentum.
Okay. That's a 5 out of 50.
Okay. However, you do bat it aside once again, reclaiming your momentum.
And I would like to use my reversal.
Oh, yes.
It says you are used to desperate combats and able to turn direct circumstances to your advantage. If you win an opposed melee test, instead of gaining +1 advantage, you may take all your opponent's current advantage.
Okay. It has one advantage.
So you can access damage.
Yeah. You can take the one advantage from it.
Sorry, I thought I had 2.
No, it has 1. It only has 1.
Okay. Then yeah.
All right. Got it. So yes, there's that. Now, that would bring me to Seamus McCready. Seamus, you begin glancing around, preparing, seeing the savage carnage that is just happening around you, screams and bellows. You are in a bad way currently, but you're so weak, and you just can't stand completely. You manage to get up onto your knees and one arm, kind of, and look around, and you see the vampire that laid you low several hundred feet away with a retinue of those black knights I described before on skeletal steeds. And it points towards you, Seamus. And as he does, you see his mouth moving. And then you see a hunched humanoid figure walk up to him out of the crowd. The death just laying low many people so far. And he's dragging, it looks like Emma in her white dress. And she is limp and unconscious. And he hoists the woman up to the vampire, who grasps her tenderly and then drapes her over the saddle in front of him. He gives you a bit of a smile, Seamus, and then rides away. The man looks back, and you can see the skin on his face is torn and looks like it's slumped and you can't make out features from this distance, but he's wearing clothes eerily similar to that of Gaston. And you see him turn around to begin pursuing in the direction of his master. The other knights begin moving as well. However, this view is short-lived, Seamus, as you hear a screech from on up high, and you glance up as a massive winged creature is descending upon you with an open mouth and fangs the size of small spears. It has what looks like some kind of red tuft of hair growing from the top of its skull down what you think might be its back behind these massive bat wings. As this foul abomination of a creature descends upon you, its eyes are white and blank. It screeches aloud. I need you to make me a cool test, Seamus. You as well, Marius, as you hear the pivotal scream.
Oh boy. That's a 29 out of 49.
Okay, and Marius?
43 out of 65.
43 out of 65. So you are both, well, yep, you're fine. You're fine. As the terror that almost would have taken over your bodies shakes itself free. You're used to fighting horrendous creatures, and this is a massive, large creature. And it looks eerily like the vampire you met before, but somehow deformed and gargantuan in nature. It's completely naked. There are scraps of some kind of, not really scraps, but like hair that's grown over most of its body, and it's pale, almost purplish of a hue. And it swings down, Seamus, and I need you to make me a dodge roll at minus 30.
That is a 58 out of 7.
Okay, Seamus. You attempt to feebly move to the side. However, you have a fast weapon in your hand. I will give you the opportunity to give me an attack roll.
Oh, yes.
At minus 30, and we'll see if you can.
All right.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
That is an 11 out of 30.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
Oh, my God. Clutch.
Just take its head. Take its head clean off.
Yeah, no. Definitely not.
I hope we...
Go ahead and roll me a D100, though.
Badass.
That is a 67.
67. Let's see here. Okay. 67. Oh, okay. As you see these giant, like 4-clawed legs that it has, they have these massive talons on them. The creature looks extremely bat-like, but humanoid still. It's very bizarre. As the Vargeist attempts to grab you, Seamus, you feebly at first, and suddenly there's some strength behind it as you lash out with your sword. How much damage is that from you?
Let's see, 11, 21. With the minus 30, it's only going to be like 8 points of damage.
Okay, it's still significant as you cleave through almost its upper thigh, as you lash out, and it screeches and wails as you cut into it, and it bleeds. Blood spills out as this happens. I need you to make me an endurance test, Seamus. Minus 20.
That is a 62 out of 37.
Seamus, you feel your mask begin to crack one more, even further. The damage is significant at this point. You do regain a wound because you siphon off some kind of dark essence from this. But, yeah, and as it swings by, it looks like it was going for a grab and going to fly away, and it pulls back up into the sky out of reach until it turns around about 40 feet up, flapping, and looks down at you, screeching. Its leg is actively bleeding. And that brings us to Marius Wolf.
All right, I'm gonna try to attack this wolf again.
Go ahead and give me a check.
It's a 44, sir.
Yep.
Out of
Okay.
80.
Well, this time, Marius, you feint with the pick, and it flinches back, and as it does, you lunge in and just cleave through the bottom of the jaw, just takes it clean off, and the wolf falls backwards, and as it does, you then take the pick overhead and slam it straight into its chest, and just splatters gore all across your body. Very visceral. As it falls dead. Would you like to do anything else, Marius?
I guess I'm just looking around to see what was screaming.
Yeah, you look around. You don't see anything nearby, but you see Seamus, and it looks like there's fresh blood, a lot of it, spilled across his arm and dripping across his chest. And it looks like he's racked with pain currently. And his pale color that you thought had returned has gone still yet more pale, as he may or may not be falling to the interesting characteristics of his unholy weapon that he wields.
Yeah.
And you see his eyes, the direction he's looking, and you follow them, and you see the massive bat-like creature flying high in the sky.
Oh, sick maw. That's my turn, probably. I'm just looking up at it, probably. Probably move over to Seamus if I can.
Yeah, you can move over to him. And as you do, Seamus, it is now your turn.
All right, so I'm probably still on a one knee type of stance.
Yes, you've scrambled to what you can. You can't fully stand up, but you are, and Marius has closed the distance, and he's kind of putting himself somewhat in between you and the creature.
I guess I will ready an attack in case it comes back, because I can't really move anywhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. The both of you, I need the both of you to make, let's see here. I believe these are endurance tests. Minus 30 for you, Seamus. As the Vargeist begins to cry out, and it's so obscenely loud that it literally is almost deafening in nature.
You said endurance, right?
Right.
Yes.
I will
42,
burn my last
42 out of
fortune.
65.
Okay, so Marius, you're fine. And Seamus?
I burned my last fortune, and I got a 26 out of 37.
Okay. All right. And Seamus, you are also okay. You kind of hold your hands over your ears and grit through the pain. And as you do, you hear at the last second, Seamus, you hear what sounds like hoofbeats coming behind you.
Can I turn and look?
It's not your turn yet, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's still the Vargeist's turn,
all right.
as it is going to now sweep low and attempt to snatch both of you off the ground. You either need to make dodge rolls, because I didn't state how big the creature is, this is a size bigger than large. It is very big. If it was standing on the ground, it would be about somewhere between 12 and 13 feet tall. It's massive. So you are not going to be able to block this with your weapon.
Both of us
So I
dodge.
gotta make a dodge.
Gotta make a dodge.
All right. Yeah, I got a 53 out of 7.
Got it. How about Marius Wolf?
Oh, I didn't roll. Let me roll. That's a 25, and can I use my momentum from killing that wolf?
Yes, you can.
It's 25 out of 65.
Okay, so that is 4 levels of success.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Marius, that is just enough for you to barely duck low and roll away as a giant clawed foot snaps above you. However, Seamus is in no way capable of dodging what's going to happen, and the foot clamps around his body and then begins flying away. 40 feet.
Do I get, if he moves away from me, can I make an attack?
Yeah, I'll give you an attack. Why not? I am defending myself, however.
Okay. That's an 80 out of 100.
Yep,
Crit.
I got a 66 for my defense.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's a wash, unfortunately, Marius. It's a wash as you swing out and the creature pulls in its leg that was holding Seamus, and you hit nothing but air. And it begins flying up and away 40 feet into the air. And that's where we're going to end our first part. We're going to take our break right here.